coming right back from where we were last time. We're starting our second term as President of the United States, baby. The thing is that, I'm kind of covered in most of these areas. I've kind of got it covered. So it's going to very much start becoming a little iffy. You know what I mean? Second term, second term, second term. Oh, we won. I mean, you won. We won, my friend. Nothing can threaten us anymore. A few pleasant years away. Only impeachment can stop us. Impeachment. Only have one term left and so many things to do. I want to... What you promised them, but for what you managed to accomplish is an impressive achievement. Yeah, actually, yeah. I didn't follow through with my original campaign promise, but I won anyways, and by a landslide, because I was so good. I want to make history. Screw them. I will become such a president, people will want me for a third term. Expend influence in the U.S. Oh my god. I make the you. Because I've already changed this country for the better. 15 trade agreements, creating an economic superpower. That's what I want to do. Go down in history. That's the plan? Okay. So we need trade agreements with literally everybody. As many people as are willing to do a trade agreement. France. Germany. Australia. Alright, now we're talking. After this new endeavor was found, I quickly decided to look into what other projects I could work on and decided that pushing forward a couple more education things is probably the next best play. It's about to get business out here. Can I actually get a third term? That was a great question that was actually going to kind of be part of the reason that I kept going through this second term with so much power. Although it is, unconstitutional, like extraordinarily, after a couple rules are put in place, maybe some rules are meant to change, as we might see, wink wink, later down the line. That push me to 20? It does, yeah. What this means right here is I had already completed one of the 4 little medals at the bottom that are heavily implied to lead to a third term if I get them all done. At this moment, the First Lady walked in and approached me about something that happened, which is her Russian grandma, who will become a player in the story, called Baba Shuka. Apparently, even though she thought Russian grandma over here was dead, it's actually not. And we will encounter Baba Shuka later. First Amendment of the Constitution can no longer be evoked to protect the right of lobbyists to conduct business dealings within legislative institutions in the U.S. Wait, this is anti-corruption. Wait, this is good, though. That's how I'm reading it, at the very least. This is anti-corruption. Oh, yeah, I'll pass it. And after doing a few more trade deals... Portugal, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Norway, Sweden. Yeah, how y'all doing? This day ended. Russian grandma? Oh my god, it is. I finally got to encounter Baba Shuka, and I got to essentially talk to her about what she's been doing. And even though the First Lady had claimed that she had hunted tigers in the woods with her husband, she says that those tigers were in fact American spies. And she did it under the orders of Stalin, as in, that Stalin. So suddenly there's a big issue here, because we now have a Russian grandma in the White House who killed American spies and now is really close to a bunch of high-ranking American politicians and people.
What the hell just happened?
And that was the major event of the day. Now, just like last time, if I wanted to do an accounting of everything that happened during the second term of presidency, this video would be very long. So instead of doing the day-by-day method, or as I did last time, a really cool, awesome time-lapse with Pharrell Williams in the background, instead this time I'm just going to give you a couple details here and there. Just the important pieces. First off, the milestone system. This right here is going to make it so it's actually possible for me to get a third term along with those little medals, because this is going to build up a public persona that the people are going to like so much that they will actually be willing to fight for me to have 4 more years. The 2 perks that I decided to take first were Charm and Ramble On, since they both were pretty politics and social based, which is what my platform mainly was. The issue with Babashuka then got leaked by the press, which, you know, is certainly something. I then got to officially be considered a celebrity, even though, you know, most presidents already are celebrities by automatic, given how you're kind of in the eyes of the public. Then one of our systems that the Homeland Security was using to watch over people, called the Eye of the Beholder program, got leaked by somebody else, which, you know, is great that we had 2 leaks back to back that both hurt my presidency. No. See, I'm a man now. Yeah. Do you think Americans should be informed about the extent? Yeah, probably. Should the government really ring our emails? It appears sometimes. Is it true that the program was your idea and is named after your favorite Twilight Zone episode? Lies. Then, because I was providing student loan relief, the Secretary of Education had to come talk to me because the Office of Management and Budget didn't like the idea that people would be able to get jobs in the humanities and research there due to the fact that, you know, I cut the costs. Like, now they can just do what they want. Of course, I did side with a full use of it because I don't know why I wouldn't, given how that is what I kind of wanted. I wanted people to be able to choose what they wanted to do. Then the vice president decided to come talk to me because he didn't like the idea that I was selling action figures of myself. Of course, because I thought it was funny, I said, we're going to keep those on the shelves. And that unintentionally got me my 4th medal, as it caused me to become this hero image in people's minds, particularly children. I then got to leak back because Babashuka told me the Russian president was the one in charge of that American spy killing program. The Russian president then talked to me about freeing one Will Spector, who had some things that he wanted to say, and the president did not like that. He tried to bargain with me for everything from spies to getting Babashuka's name cleared. And the thing is, I trusted in the fact that Babashuka's name was already going to be cleared, and I didn't need his 2 spies, so I just said, screw it, no, and he, you know, did not like that. The vice president then approached me again over the fact that rather than action figures, I had pushed it apparently to putting myself into Norse mythology. Yeah, I agreed with him this time that this was way too far, and I don't know why my in-universe character went this far. And the game did make me sign a bill for some random reason to stop this and not just be like, you know what, my bad, man. But, you know, alright. For the last really big moments at the end of the second term, they all had cutscenes that corresponded with their end, so I'm just gonna let them play out.
An NSA contractor told the media that my Eye of the Beholder program is used for mass surveillance of American citizens, and the bastard fled to China. Half the country got mad at me, even my own daughter. Luckily, we've managed to convince the public that this man, Edmund Sachs, was not a hero, but a devious spy. In the end, it turned out Sachs was just a small fry, while the real enemy, China, tried to screw us over once again. And that's something I'll never forget. Sometimes you get snakes on a plane, and sometimes you get a truly shocking news on the plane. I was calmly enjoying my Air Force One flight when my wife told me her long presumed dead grandma not only lives, but wants to join us, leaving Russia for a much better country, our country, the United States of America. Next thing I know, Babushka is living with us in the White House. And during our very first conversation, She tells me that she and her husband used to kill American spies many years back when Stalin was still alive and kicking. As if everything wasn't surreal enough, suddenly this crazy article was published accusing Babushka of being a spy, working closely with Boris Nupagadi, the Russian president. To get out of this mess, I had to deal with the Russian president himself. Shocking as it may sound, there is an important lesson here. Man can go really, really far to keep his family safe and happy. Even if your grandma is a spy-killing from the darkest forests of Siberia. When my daughter, Eleanor, came to my office one day, bragging about a movie called Super Smash Sisters, I didn't know what to make of it. Eleanor was so happy she's starring in it, but a sarcastic voice in my head kept whispering, "Oh, what can possibly go wrong?" And then the riots exploded everywhere, just like that. That movie made so many people pissed because they could relate to what was happening on the screen. It was half Matrix, half Fight Club, and a complete show. The oppressed were suddenly fighting for their rights, both in Super Smash Sisters and on the streets. I was terrified, to say the least. Not exactly sure how to react, I was forced to either use the National Guard and fight fire with fire, or ban the movie entirely and be widely accused of suppressing freedom of expression, not to mention letting my daughter down. Thanks to my smarts and gut instinct, I somehow managed to prevail once again. But this was a close one, and we were just inches away from the next civil war, all because of one stupid, violent movie. Can you even believe that? When my daughter, Alyssa, asked me to buy her a ticket to Haiti, I thought it could be a fun little trip. She wanted to learn more about voodoo, zombies, witchcraft. Those things are scary, sure, but at least they're not real. Terrorists, on the other hand, are very real and very dangerous. So when a terrorist group called the Wretches kidnapped my daughter and murdered her bodyguard in cold blood, I was deeply disturbed. Thank God it all ended well. This outcome was nothing short of a miracle. I've decided to negotiate with the Wretches and somehow convince them to let Alyssa go. She's now back with us, and I couldn't be happier.
Mind you, all 4 of those little cutscenes right there all happened during my second term as president. Those all happened in, so in canon, those happened within months from each other.
Oh, this is the last of the presidency.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm so happy to see you. And the fact that you're here must mean that you're happy to see me as well. But I have something important to tell you. These past 8 years taught me a great deal about duty and responsibility. And although we live in crazy times, I did my best to serve you. However, the life goes on. And it is my hope that you can remember me as your best buddy that just happened to live in the White House. And although it's impossible to know what the future holds for us, our dreams might just be bright enough to carry us across even the darkest seas. Thus, just like that, we've made it to the end of this wonderful journey.
4 more years? Did I just hear someone say 4 more years?
Did I hear someone say 4 more years?
Oh my God! Would that sit well?
Would that set well with your conscience?
Well, I shouldn't be too surprised.
Hard to deny that I've been one of the good guys.
Holy crap, this could go south. This support I have. Must have been nice though, finally. President, you know you can trust.
Life's gotten better for you all, hasn't it?
God. You know what? I put in the commitment, I put in the time. If the people want it, I am of the people for the people.
I mean, if you don't think the next guy has what it takes.
Farewell address. Soon-to-be former president has once again shocked me with his yesterday's appearance. Well, historically, we came to expect farewell speech to be heartwarming and wholesome. Our president proved that he's a lame duck only on paper. The crowd erupted in deafening applause and began chanting 4 more years nearly uniformly. It was mayhem. Told us the venue's manager, I've never seen anything like this, and we've hosted rock concerts in the past. But that's not all. The president-elect was also present at the event, had to be escorted out the moment things began getting out of hand. Hard to imagine a more embarrassing and awkward prelude to his presidency. Pretty good, what? President's inauguration ceremony is about to start. If you don't mind me saying so, I think you should attend. Your yesterday's speech has been divisive, to put it mildly, but if you just acknowledge the new president, what makes you feel I'd ever acknowledge? Holy crap, let's run it. Sir, what are you saying? You were there yesterday. You saw what people wanted. You must really be underestimating my influence if you think that it's just about yourself. Wait, are you attempting a political coup? You are, aren't you? Oh my god, it's absolutely unprecedented, not to mention unconstitutional. Sir, you're going to go down the history as a villain. Of course not. We've known each other for ages, and yeah, after yesterday, people started talking and joking about a 3rd term. White House is full of supporters, sir. But, provided you could actually pull this off, this is something you really want? Haven't you and your family had enough? I've always served this country, and I feel like, given the circumstances, this is also my duty. Just talk to my staff and see what they think. Let's see how the inauguration plays out. Before I go, can I give you one last bit of advice? I'm all yours. That was the right thing to do given the circumstances. I'm so very much against our entire system, sir. This means that many will treat you like a villain. And there won't be any legislative safety net to fall back on. What are you getting at? These upcoming days are going to be very tough, but you need to be tougher. If that means playing it dirty or stepping on a few toes, are you ready for that? Oh, I'm serious about this. And I need enough to think it's going to be easy. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Either way, I should get going. Good luck. And thank you. Do I hear 4 more years? Yesterday, American people bore witness to a shocking spectacle described as grotesque by some, patriotic by others. I knew something was wrong from the very beginning, reported our correspondent. There's just too many empty chairs and the place is buzzing with hushed chatter. Of course, the biggest giveaway is the absence of the person who stood here on this day 8 years ago. After reciting his presidential pledge, the newly appointed president proceeded to give his inaugural address, parts of which spurred some officials to theatrically leave the podium. This proved too much for the speaker, whose voice first began shaking, then became robotic and unconvincing. Undoubtedly, there's a major conflict between the new and the former president. While the specifics are largely unknown, one thing's certain. We are witnessing something of historical importance for both the U.S. political system and the public. Now I was actually going through with the, admittedly, it's definitely a legal plan to keep presidency. And we had to move piece by piece through every single little bit that I had gained of power. The first matter of business is when the president-elect came up trying to get his, admittedly rightfully earned office from me. And I used my military score to basically intimidate him to the point where he gave in and he said, you know what, I'll let you stay here for a week. Oh, I'm staying in here. Presidential intimidation. Dear readers, we made it through yet another winter, but as the snow begins to melt in DC, the atmosphere remains as chilly as ever, and our political institutions remain frozen in uneasy conflict. Look at the timeline. January 20, inauguration incident. January 21st, rumors surface of a presidential argument taking place. January 21st as well. The new president announces that due to his family issues, his predecessor is allowed to stay in the White House until the end of January. Claim later referred to as unsubstantiated by White House Insider. January 23rd, President's first conflict with White House staff, several officials fired. January 24th to 30th, conflict continues. A supposed flu epidemic results in numerous sick leaves. January 31st, escalation. The president has not been informed of a cabinet's meeting. Cancels a scheduled press conference. February 3rd, the president orders separation of the western wing of the White House, moves into one of the bedrooms, and adapts the library to be his new office. Former president still resides in the White House. February 11th, president's infamous screecher outburst. February 12th to now, no notable developments. The White House closes doors to the media. What does it mean for America? When and how will this get resolved? The experts are very much divided on this issue. I then used my economy score to convince a guy simply labeled as Stranger, who seemed very powerful and had a lot of ties into, as you can guess, powerful corporations in the economy, and I got him to side with me rather than the president-elect. Okay, I see what's going on. So we're moving piece by piece through each part of my thing. So I've done military, economics, and straight politics. And I'm losing minus 50 every time, but all my numbers are so high. Military is my lowest number, so I win. Because as long as my military number didn't go under, I win. And I was correct with this, as the first lady came in with some stresses and worries, and I used the public social score to calm her. And then I decided to use my industry score when it came down to the secretary, as the president-elect was not going to be signing a bill into law for whatever reason. I forget the exact reason. But basically, she brings it to me and says, hey, can you sign this? With which I do, and sign in while being the de facto president. The chief of staff then comes up to me, and I don't even have to use any more points anymore, because effectively I've won. The elected president happens to fall ill, and it turns out, rather than the vice president seizing the power from him, it turns out the vice president's actually on my side, and he decides to back down too. And he basically leaves it up to me to run the country, thus making me essentially have my third term and being your president illegally, but allowed by the people still. So we were given some final scores, and here's what it says. So we ended with 1,000 with the people, 980 in politics, 964 in agreements, 186 in industry. Mind you, I think this is after what was happening, where I had to use some of my political power to maintain presidency. 186, and it was capped at 400. 846 in the economy, 576 in military. About your presidency. He's great. It's crazy. He's actually selling merch. This really is the dumbest timeline. Dude, have you seen him walk? Is that how humans walk? I'm this close to putting on my tinfoil hat. The right man in the right place. I've always been impressed by how professional he seems, even among the most powerful men in the world. Some mess I did. Final compass position. Anarcho-communism. Change views. 7. Crisis handled. 15. Counteractions. 25. Mails appeared. 34. Projects running 33, nukes deployed 0, speeches spoken 5, screeches set 11, quests and promises succeeded 5, press conferences 0, articles written 30, bill signed 21, bills refused 2, Milestone Trees 11. And with that, this little section is over. Thank you for watching. If you've watched these little 2 videos together, which I guess is the series. And good night, America.